Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to 365 Days of Love and Miracles with A Course in Miracles. My name is Arlene Garris, and I am so glad that you are here. Please remember to listen right until the very end, because we have a special treat for you. And if you enjoyed today's video, please click like and subscribe down below, because this helps others to find us on YouTube. Today's lesson is lesson number 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. This sounds like a no-brainer to me. Why would we choose the world of pain? And yet, many times, without realizing it, I am actually choosing the world of pain. I get upset, I go into anxiety, I get worried about being able to get things done. What I don't recognizing is that I am choosing the world of pain. Thank goodness for these lessons. This lesson is going to show us the way out of the world of pain. Let's go ahead and read today's lesson. Pain is a wrong perspective. When it is experienced in any form, it is a proof of self-deception. It is not a fact at all. There is no form it takes that will not disappear if seen aright. For pain proclaims God cruel. How could it be real in any form? It witnesses to God the Father's hatred of his Son, the sinfulness he sees in him, and his insane desire for revenge and death. Let's talk about it. Pain is a wrong perspective. Pain is simply our belief in the body. Remember, the body is not real. I am not a body. This is simply a vehicle for carrying around my spirit. And when I believe in pain, then I am saying that God is cruel. Now, I wish I could say that I never experienced bodily pain, but through A Course in Miracles, I have learned to not focus on when my body is in pain, and instead learn to focus on God. And it's the most amazing thing. Very often, the physical pain simply disappears. A Course in Miracles tells us that pain is in fact not real. Let's keep reading. Can such projections be attested to? Can they be anything but wholly false? Pain is but witness to the Son's mistakes in what he thinks he is. It is a dream of fierce retaliation for a crime that could not be committed, for attack on what is wholly unassailable. It is a nightmare of abandonment by an eternal love which could not leave the Son whom it created out of love. Let's talk about it. This is the most beautiful message that we are being shown today. We are being told that pain is actually a projection. We are projecting this onto ourselves, and we can stop projecting it. We can choose joy instead of pain. We do not need to accept that pain is inevitable. We do not need pain in order to witness to our mistakes. Let's keep reading. Pain is a sign illusions reign in place of truth. It demonstrates God is denied, confused with fear, perceived as mad, and seen as traitor to himself. If God is real, there is no pain. If pain is real, there is no God. For vengeance is not part of love. And fear, denying love and using pain to prove that God is dead, has shown that death is victor over life. The body is the Son of God, corruptible in death, as mortal as the Father he has slain. Peace to such foolishness. Let's say that again. Peace to such foolishness. The time has come to laugh at such insane ideas. There is no need to think of them as savage crimes or secret sins with weighty consequence. Who but a madman could conceive of them as cause of anything? Their witness, pain, is mad as they, and no more to be feared than the insane illusions which it shields and tries to demonstrate what must still be true. Let's talk about it. If pain is real, there is no God. And if God is real, there is no pain. Once again, we get to choose. Do you choose pain or do you choose God? It's really a no-brainer, isn't it? I choose God instead of pain, and I am going to continue choosing God instead of pain. We do not need to experience pain in our lives, not 1 second more, my friends. Let's keep reading. It is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. There is no cause beyond yourself that can reach down and bring oppression. I want to read that line one more time. There is no cause beyond yourself that can reach down and bring oppression. No one but yourself affects you. There is nothing in the world that has the power to make you ill or sad or weak or frail, but it is you who have the power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. As you perceive the harmlessness in them, they will accept your holy will as theirs, and what was seen as fearful now becomes a source of innocence and holiness. What a beautiful reading. Let's talk about it. As a psychotherapist, I know that much of our pain comes from emotional pain, and this is where we can make the biggest change. We can choose to heal all of those old sorrows, all of those old hurts. We don't need to hold on to them. We simply bring them to the light, where God is going to take them away from us if we ask. We can choose God instead of pain. We can choose joy instead of pain. The choice is ours every single second of every single day. Let's keep reading. My holy brother, think of this a while. The world you see does nothing. It has no effects at all. It merely represents your thoughts. And it will change entirely as you elect to change your mind and choose the joy of God as what you really want. Yourself is radiant in this holy joy, unchanged, unchanging, and unchangeable forever and forever. And would you deny a little of your mind its own inheritance and keep it as a hospital for pain, a sickly place where living things come at last to die? Let's talk about it. It is your thoughts that cause you pain. There we have it in a nutshell. A Course in Miracles has told us since the very first lesson that the problem is in my mind. Our thoughts are very powerful, and these thoughts will eventually show up as illness, disease, pain, and yes, eventually death. Science has proven that if we linger long enough in the hurts and the pains and the trauma of our past, that our body will eventually show that in such forms as cancer, heart disease, autoimmune disease. It is our thoughts alone that cause us pain. When we change our thinking, we change our lives. There is nothing in the world that has the power to make us ill or sad or weak or frail. We do it to ourselves. So let's stop doing that. Let's choose to walk in the light. Let's choose health. Let's choose joy. Let's choose happiness. Let's choose God. Let's continue on with the Course in Miracles day by day by day. Let's keep reading. The world may seem to cause you pain, and yet the world, as causeless, has no power to cause. As an effect, it cannot make effects. As an illusion, it is what you wish. Your idle wishes represent its pains. Your strange desires bring it evil dreams. Your thoughts of death envelop it in fear, while in your kind forgiveness does it live. Let's talk about it. The world we see simply represents our thinking. This goes back to those very beginning lessons in which we saw this world I see means nothing. I give it all the meaning that it has. And that is also true of what we see out there in the world is held onto in our body, and that is what is causing us pain. Remember that we have two selves. We have our ego self, which only sees problems, only sees pain, and only sees suffering. Or we have our godly self, in which we are radiant in our holy joy, unchanged, unchanging, and unchangeable forever and forever. That is the truth of who we are, my friends. We are not these sickly bodies traveling around the world in despair, hopelessness, and pain. Let's keep reading. Pain is the thought of evil taking form and working havoc in your holy mind. Pain is the ransom you have gladly paid not to be free. In pain is God denied the Son he loves. In pain does fear appear to triumph over love, and time replace eternity and heaven, and the world becomes a cruel and bitter place where sorrow rules and little joys give way before the onslaught of the savage pain that waits to end all joy in misery. Lay down your arms and come without defense into the quiet place where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. Lay down all thoughts of danger and of fear. Let no attack enter with you. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat, and put aside the withering assaults with which you seek to hide your holiness. Oh my gosh, that makes it perfectly clear. We are asked to lay down our arms, put away our childish toys. We don't need them anymore. We are learning through A Course in Miracles that the world of the ego is an illusion, and we want to recognize that any time that we are in pain of any kind, whether it be emotional pain or physical pain, that this is a sign that we're caught up in the thinking of the ego. Here it says to lay down those weapons. These are weapons that we're using to hurt ourselves, and we don't need to do that anymore. We can choose to come into the quiet place where God lives deep inside of every single one of us, where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. How do we do this? We do it through forgiveness. We forgive our past. We forgive our pain. We forgive whatever problem seems to be upsetting us in the moment. We forgive others. We forgive ourselves. We practice forgiveness on a daily basis. And this is how I do it. Every single time that I'm upset, I stop and I go, I'm caught up in the thinking of the ego again. And I pray and I ask God to bring me back to this place of forgiveness where I forgive myself for those crazy thoughts and I forgive others for whatever I think that they might have done that seems to be upsetting me. Let's bring ourselves back to joy, to heaven, to God. Let's finish today's reading. Here will you understand there is no pain. Here does the joy of God belong to you. This is the day when it is given you to realize the lesson that contains all of salvation's power. It is this: pain is illusion, joy reality. Pain is but sleep, joy is awakening. Pain is deception, joy alone is truth. And so again we make the only choice that ever can be made. We choose between illusions and the truth, or pain and joy, or hell and heaven. Let our gratitude unto our teacher fill our hearts as we are free to choose our joy instead of pain, our holiness instead of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven for the darkness of the world. This is the lesson that contains all of salvation's power. Pain is illusion, joy is reality. Pain is but sleep, joy is awakening. Pain is deception, joy alone is truth. We are free to choose joy instead of pain, holiness in place of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven for the darkness of the world. So let's remember today's lesson every single time that we are caught up in the world of pain. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. For our practice sessions today, first thing in the morning, last thing, just before we go to sleep, we want to read or listen to today's lesson. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. And then we sit in a quiet meditation for as long as we please. For our hourly practice sessions, often in between, and especially if we're upset for any reason at all, if we're feeling emotional pain or physical pain, we simply remind ourselves, I choose the joy of God instead of pain. And then we take a minute or two to bring ourselves back home to God, come back to center, come back to joy, come back to peace, come back to holiness. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Thanks so much for listening right until the end, my friends. If you enjoyed today's video, please share the love. Tell others about these videos. Encourage them to start at lesson 1 and only do 1 lesson a day. Are you ready for our special treat? So here I am taking a picture of Susan in front of the sign of Tonala. And this lady is selling plants for only 10 pesos. That's 50 cents for these lovely plants. And here comes Susan. What a good time we're having. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Have a joy-filled day, my friends. I love you.